Okay, I have news today. I am officially back with Parks and Rec. It's going to change very little about what we do. I'm still going to be able to record things. So anybody who's watching the recording, these should still keep getting posted for as long as we're still doing this online. Those of us who are here in real time, like in person, or you're in person, we're all in person, we're just in different places. Nothing's going to change about how you get into class, but we're going to start getting emails from Parks and Rec, and also I will share that information too, just to make sure that it's coming to your inbox. There will be a registration to get to just like sign up for the class, but all of the links and the information are going to stay steady. They'll still filter into my account, so you don't need to change anything to get in here. And if you need anything, just email me. If you're like, I'm not sure how this is going to work or how it's going to change, let me know. The first class that's going to be on the new layout is going to be June 7th. So it's going to be the first Monday in June. And I am not going to be doing class on Memorial Day. So that's my plan. So we're not having class on Monday the 31st. And then on June 7th, the first Monday of June, we will be doing things through registration through Parks and Rec, which is just a minor shift to go back to like kind of saying to them that, yes, you want to come see me. So I hope that that's fairly clear. I'll put that all in the email that I tend to send out also. And also about the Monday thing that I won't be here. But on to yoga, or rather on to talking about yoga before we do the physical stuff. I'm like looking outside, and I was talking about this yesterday, and it's funny, like I'm still working on like the practice of doing this, of being in control of my story. Like I'm a very sunny kind of person, and I feel like especially those of us who are really into like sunny, nice, beautiful, warm weather days, and even with like if you live in the Pacific Northwest, like we're out here where we get about 2 months of that consistently, and then it's just kind of random days, and it's like we get so stuck in this whole idea of, oh, it's sunny and it's beautiful, so I'm going to be really excited and happy about that. And then when we see the forecast, like how it is kind of the rest of the week here, where it's going to be a little cooler, kind of cloudy, some rain a bit, and it's like a bummed out response to that. Like, yeah, I would prefer it to be sunny, but then we already start to kind of sink into this like, bad weather thing about seeing that the forecast is maybe not exactly how we anticipated it, or waking up and it's not like super bright and sunny and it'll be cloudy, and letting that affect the mood. And I like calm, quiet, cloudy days, but I still notice a big shift inside of me. And part of that is coming from that storytelling thing, like what we talked about last week. And a lot of it's like a habit, right? Like you get so ingrained in these ways that we tend to respond to these stimulus over and over and over again. Like, oh, my body's tight, I'm not good at this, or whatever it is. Like we have these stories that we get so bound up in. And I was just observing over the change in the last, couple of days, going from cold to hot to, shifting back into the cooler raininess. Is it feasible? And I hope we can find that, yes, it is doable and worthwhile to be mindful of the narratives and the stories that we let impact ourselves. And all of this kind of also brings up this Tibetan proverb that I quite love. It's a good reminder of watching ourselves. It says, watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they become your character. And watch your character, for it becomes your destiny. And if I take that into very micro little levels, if I can manage to shift my stories so that when the weather changes, it doesn't negatively impact my mood and my energy levels, then hopefully I can keep up a more energetic and uplifted response to just going about the world. which is significantly better than the opposite, right? Letting my thoughts get cloudy and negative and et cetera, et cetera. So beautiful sunny day kind of energy today. Let's try to put into our practice and enjoy exactly the way that things are right now, because it is what it is. Take your index finger and thumb together, taking the base of your thumb into the center of your forehead, brushing outwards towards your temples, and then going from the sides of your nose out to your temples, along your cheekbones, and from your temples down to your chin, along your jawline, going from the sides of your nose down to your chin, along your laugh lines, and then massaging underneath and behind your ears, feeling the soft spots and the bony spots above the soft spots, and lifting up from those spots. Letting the skeleton, the back side of the body expand and lift upwards. Taking a nice deep breath in and trying to keep that lift as you exhale, dropping the hands downwards into your lap. Settling into your breath, considering an intention of watching these stories, of trying to keep the same kind of energy and headspace that you would prefer to have, not letting it be impacted by changes in your environment. Maybe considering that proverb, watching our thoughts, our words. Next time you breathe in, take it in nice and full through your nose. Big exhale through your mouth. Again, like that. For 3 ohms. Starting to blink your eyes open. I hope that you're sitting in a seat that is very comfortable to you. Of course, just not necessarily having to copy me. However you're sitting is just fine for the next couple of moves that we'll take together. We'll work a little bit more in the upper body. Go ahead and take your arms up once you get to that comfy, easy seat if you have to adjust your space. And we'll take a small twist over towards the right, but put your right hand back in your lower back. So rather than trying to get down to the floor, just depending on where you are and to maybe do things a little bit differently. So I've got my left arm down towards my right leg, and then let your belly soften back towards your hand without rounding your back. That's a good cue, having that hand back there so you can feel if the shape of your spine changes. One more time, take a breath in and feel the belly soften back as you breathe out. Come back to the center, go ahead and lift your arms up, get tall, and exhale, twisting over towards your left. So you'll take your right hand down and then your left hand goes into the small of your back. So you can feel the belly resting back into your hand while still keeping that lower back nice and tall. Take an inhale here. Feel the belly soften back as you exhale, and just one more breath like that. And come back to the center. We'll do things a little bit differently. Take your arms up, inhale. Exhale, pull your elbows out to the sides. And notice if you had a tendency to arc the spine. Can you keep the spine and the torso just as steady as they were with your arms up, and just feel those elbows pulling open, maybe pulling back a little bit if that feels good, but the torso staying very neutral. Then do that again. Inhale, reach your arms up. Try to keep your torso neutral. As you exhale, pull the elbows down. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, elbows pull down, chest open, spine stays straight. We'll amp this up a little bit. Take an inhale, reach your arms up. You're going to take a twist over towards the right and open your elbows. And it's not going to be a super deep twist. You want to make sure that your back isn't rounding, that your spine isn't arching, that you're softening your belly back. Don't worry about how far you get. And come back to the center. Inhale, reach your arms up. And you're going to twist over towards the other side. Check in that your low ribs are dropping down, but that your spine is still lifting up, that the shoulders are opening. And then again, inhale, lift it up, exhale, a little twist over towards the right. Feel the belly drawing in. Should be a little bit of core work. Inhale, reach out to the center. Exhale, twisting over towards the left. Again, inhale, lift up. Exhale, soften the belly inwards, twist. Inhale, lift to the center. Exhale, soften the belly, twist. Left, one more time, inhale. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, reach your arms up, and then float them down by your sides. Go ahead and roll your shoulders out a few times. Rolling them in one direction, and then start rolling them just a few times in the opposite direction. Probably you went backwards and then forwards. Just because we have those habits, those tendencies, right? And we're going to move from here down onto our backs. So if you've been sitting up on anything, go ahead and set it off to your side. If it was a block, bring it towards the front of your mat space, because that's probably where you will need it again later. And then you're going to take your right leg up in the air, make some circles in your toes and around your ankle. Go in the other direction. And flex your foot. Bring your ankle down onto your knee. Reach your right arm in between the legs. Hold onto your left thigh. And press your left foot forward. You want to keep the right toes drawing up towards your shin and your left foot very active. So feet are active, hips are dropping to the ground. Shoulders, if they are lifting, you are allowing them to soften. And if you need to put something back behind your head to give yourself some space, go ahead and do that. Make sure that the neck is relaxed and supported. Let's take 3 more deep breaths. Big exhale. And release your leg. Set your left foot down. Slide the right leg over. And then push down into your left foot so that your hips hop a little bit over towards the right side. Open your arms in a way that's comfortable to you. And take a small twist over towards the left side. So probably your right foot just comes down to the ground, and don't go any further than that. We want to keep it kind of small because we're going to get a little bit deeper into the belly, really feeling that belly drawing back. And this also might help to get a little bit more into, like, there's like a very specific point in the upper butt right here, right? So if you keep it a little bit smaller, it gets a little bit more pinpointed in that place that it affects you. Oh, man. One more exhale. Start to unwind yourself, unwind your legs. You're going to scoot yourself back into the center. So you had to do that little shift over to the left or to the right with your hips. Then take your left leg up and make some circles with the toes so that you're working the ankle bones. And then circle your toes in the other direction. And then you're going to flex the foot, drawing the toes back to your face. Keep the foot flexed, put the left ankle on the right knee. And then when you reach back to hold onto the right leg, if you're going to such a place, you're going to keep both feet very strongly flexed, pushing your right foot forward. Relaxing your shoulders open. Feeling the hips dropping downwards. Big breath in. Big breath out. One more time, breathe in. Breathing out. Then release your right foot down. You're going to slide the left leg over on top. Give a little hop of the hips over towards the left and come over in a smaller version of the twist than you maybe could. So you're going to stay in somewhere that's a little bit more tepid in the twist so that you can really get the space to draw that belly back. And then, oh my gosh, that little like, there's that little point kind of in the very deep into your gluteus medius. If you don't feel it, it might just not be as tight as mine is, I don't know. But you can probably feel like all the way on the outer hips still, right? So there's still stuff happening. The belly is practicing at softening. Big breath in. And breathing out. Then unwind your legs, come back to the center. Scooch the hips back into the middle. Go ahead and bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug, rocking your hips side to side. I'm going to rock ourselves up to a seat, or you can always roll over to your side. And then you're going to bring your right shin, I'll face forward. You're going to bring your right shin parallel to the front of your space and scoot your left leg back. Okay. So put your right shin forward, and then your left leg goes back just as much as it's able. We'll come forward in a swan pose. So I want to stay down on the right hip and try to get a little bit more towards your ankle than towards your thigh. So you want to really roll forward, not trying to go like outwards over the leg, but really trying to go out over the shin. And sometimes I need to think of the ankle in order to get to that space. I'll stay here for about 5 more really long, slow breaths. So challenge yourself to slow down and be present in the space. When you get to the end of that breath, go ahead and prop yourself upwards. You're just going to shift your left knee forward now. So I'll face you, I'm not mirroring, but you can see I've got that angle space. We're going to go backwards into deer pose. My foot is not close to my hip. Really work on leaning that knee down. He'll come back. If anything, the hip lifts up. You might go to forearms. You might just be on one forearm. You might have the space in your body to lay all the way backwards. And you might not. I'm kind of surprised that I have it right now. It's kind of snuck up on me. So just listen to your body, be where it's best for you to be. Elbows is plenty. One elbow and massaging the thigh is plenty.
Let's take 3 more breaths. One more exhale. And then if it's your right leg that's forward, you're going to take your left arm, cross it over, give yourself that little doggy paddle to come up. And then go ahead and bring both knees up. Just come into your space, give your knees a squeeze. Lift up, doesn't have to be totally straight spine, but drawing yourself inwards towards your thighs. Broaden your collarbones. Big breath in. Breathing out. Relax that. You're going to leave your left shin forward, slide your right leg back, and now we'll come forward over that shin as much as possible. So I really want to try to bring my torso forward. If bringing your back knee up gives you a little bit more space to come forward, sometimes you don't have to be quite so far back with this leg. The back leg in Swan is sort of an arbitrarily positioned limb. It just needs to go wherever it is not getting in the way. Let that belly soften in because there is a little bit of a twist going on. One more exhale. And starting to lift yourself up. You're going to take the back leg up now, so you're going to shift it so you have more of that pinwheel type of shape. Leaving this knee down. We're going to lay back maybe to one elbow, maybe to two, maybe coming all the way down. And just being mindful if you get to one place, you're like, oh, that was a terrible idea, I should go back up. Please do that. And this crossing over can be a really good way to help lift up. It's a little bit more drawing together. It's more supportive in your core and for your back. So always doing that crossover and doggy paddle up can be very helpful. A little bit safer movement. Big breath in. Big breath out. One more time, breathe in. Stay for your exhale, and then it'll be the right arm crossing over, and we'll doggy paddle this all the way back up. We're gonna come onto our hand. Oh, don't bring your knees together. Just give yourself a little squeeze. Lift your spine up. So just a little neutralizing in between those sides. And then we'll work on our hands and knees. So come into your space. Yeah. So you're gonna maybe have your hands up on a block. You're gonna bring your right foot outside of your right hand, and then take your fingertips or your block a little bit further forward. You're gonna feel your heart lifting up. Push down into your right foot, feel the thigh bones sliding back to the back of the hip socket. Let the heart lift. It's hard to lift the heart up. The arms are kind of in the way. Just be with it the best that you can. One more exhale. And then you're going to turn your right knee and toe out to the side. You might even bring your left hand further forward. Let your left hip drop forward. And then bring your right hand to your right thigh so you're a little bit more supportive, still pushing this foot down. Maybe though you reach the right arm back, and that's up to you. Hips down, heart up, belly twist, shoulders open. Gaze maybe looks up and back longingly and dramatically. One more exhale. And then unwind yourself. You're going to come back to face the front. Bring the right knee and toe to face the front. And then wiggle them about 2 or 3 inches closer in. You're going to take your hands up. Put your left hand on your right knee, your right hand on your right hip, and then lift up and soften your belly to get a little twist going. This is stop 1. Stop 2 is gonna be to bring your left elbow down. Stop 3 is gonna bring your hands into your heart. At all of these stops, can you push down into that front foot to keep this thigh bone draw into the back of the hip socket, and then use that softening in your belly to roll the heart more open, so a little bit more of a twist over towards the right. Then check in with your breath. Nice big exhale. Go ahead and release the twist. So you can bring your hands down. You're gonna slide the right leg back and then bring the left foot forward. You'll come outside of your left hand. From here, the fingertips go just a little bit further forward. So just giving your hips a little bit more room to go forward perhaps. And then you'll try to lift your heart up and forward, knowing that it's honestly not the best position to be doing so in, but that it does create a nice long length in the spine and work in the hips in order to make that effort. Gentle pressure down in the left foot. Deep breath in, deep breath out, and then turn the left knee and toes to face out to the left. Your hips probably went forward a little bit. Maybe your right hand goes forward, maybe it doesn't. And then bring your left hand up onto your left thigh. Keep pushing down in your right hand so you're not sinking into your shoulder. You can stay here with the hand on the thigh or reach the arm back behind you. Let your heart open, your belly twist, your hips rest forward. Reach the ears out of your shoulders. 2 more deep breaths. And then unwind yourself, come to face forward, turn your left toes forward and wiggle the foot a little bit further. And we're gonna take hands up onto the front thigh. You'll bring your right hand to your thigh, your left hand to your hip, lift up, get taller so there's more room in your spine, and then soften your belly as you twist over towards the left side. Lift up from behind your ears. Here's stop 1. Stop 2 is to bring the elbow down, still with the belly softening back. Step 3 is to bring the hands together. And whatever one of those steps you get to or stops that you get to, you stay there and you breathe through it and don't tell yourself a story that you need to be at another stop, because this stop is just lovely. You are able to breathe there. You have a body there. You are hopefully unfurrowing your eyebrows there. 1 more exhale. Then unwind yourself from the twist. You're going to bring the hands down, slide the legs back, and then you're going to roll. You're going to come down onto your belly and roll over onto one side. It doesn't matter which side, because I'll talk about top leg and bottom leg. You might want to come to a place where you can see. Wiggle the bottom arm out. You'll come to just rest your head down. And then we're going to keep this long line in the body, so not piking at the hips. You want to stay open all the way through. You're going to take your top leg up into tree pose. It's okay if it's on your knee, because you're not going to press into the knee. You can take it wherever you like, thigh, calf, doesn't matter. We're going to open that leg up though and reach out through your bottom toes. So this could already be hard to balance even with your hand being down. If that's the case, try to recover your breath and just work here. You want to keep that bottom leg reaching out and maybe take your top hand up to the top leg. I am very precariously hanging on to this balance. The bottom leg extending out is actually kind of hard. I notice my breath changing too. 1 more exhale. Whew. Relax it. You keep that bottom leg relaxed. You're going to reach up and hold onto the back of the top thigh. So even if you can hold onto your shin, just hold onto the back of your leg. So you're really giving a little bit more freedom into the hips. And then you're going to try to take the thigh bone, which is probably up towards the top of your hip socket. Can you drop it down towards the bottom of your hip socket? So a little bit longer in that lower back. And you can stay here or try to extend, oh my gosh, the bottom leg without your hip coming up to the top of your thigh bones. You're going to drop it down to the bottom. This is ridiculously difficult for something we're laying down. Doesn't it feel so weird? I don't know, maybe I'm the only one who's feeling this is very weird. Okay. Give another breath in the weirdness. And relax things. Just put your legs down for a moment. I'm gonna go over to the other side. You can flip, just roll yourself over. I'm gonna flip around because it's kind of what I gotta do. Walk your bottom arm out. You're gonna take the top leg up into a tree pose. It could be here, here, or up here. You wanna make that bottom leg long as you reach the top knee out. Left hand or the top hand can totally stay down. Notice if you're piking at your hips. If it's really easy, you might be doing this. So we're really trying to open up the front of that hip space, just like when you're standing. That way you're able to engage these abdominals. You might put your hand on your thigh or just kind of like test your hands coming up. But if you test your hands coming up, try not to hold your breath. Reach to that bottom leg. Softening with your breath out. Relax that bottom knee. So you're gonna reach the top leg up. Go ahead and hold right behind your knee. So it's just a little bit softer in the flexion of the hip. And of course, don't have to have your leg all the way up. You just bring it wherever it's gonna go. And then your thigh bone right up in the hip socket. Instead of being up to the top of your hip socket, can you rest it down towards the bottom of your hip socket? Oh my gosh. Notice what happened with your breath. And start to extend your bottom legs. See how that, yep. See how that goes? And maybe you can drop your thigh bone down to the bottom of your hip socket. And of course, all of this stuff is just trying to be, inquisitive and present in the body, not necessarily to get in any specific place, just like, oh, can I get this clued in with my physicality? And that's enough being clued in with your physicality. Let it go. We're gonna roll over onto our bellies, find a pillow for your head with your hands, rest a forehead or a cheek. Just find someplace soft to rest your body, recover your breath. One more breath. And then bring your hands in by your low ribs, just a little outside of your low ribs. So you've got a little bit of space between your thumbs and your torso. And then lift your chest up, little cobra pose. Exhale, soften it down. And do 2 more like that. Inhale, little cobra pose. Exhale, soften. 1 more, little cobra. Exhale, lower, then push down into your hands, draw the belly in, press yourself up. We're gonna come directly into a forward fold. Just go ahead and step your feet up. Take your time getting up there. If you wanted to go through down dog, of course you could, but we're just gonna go straight up here today. Coming up onto the feet, bending the knees as much as you need. Maybe hands are at shins instead of on the floor. Try to relax your head. Bend your knees a little bit more. Feel your inner thighs rolling up to your belly. And if that was something your body made sense of, it probably increased the stretch in your hamstrings. Try to keep the inner thighs rolling up towards your belly. Keep your knees bent. Roll yourself up to standing. As I was doing the inner thighs, like oftentimes our legs would go here. Inner thighs rolling upwards to if the belly was right there. It's just kind of squaring up the thighs a little bit more. Take yourself, we're going to do a little bit of standing pose, balancing before we do the rest of our standing poses. Come to, if you want to be near something you can hold on to, bring that onto your standing leg side. Let's say you'll stand up on your left leg first. Okay. So just stand up on your left leg first. We're going to do some things that'll kind of shift side to side. So you're going to take your right leg up. You're going to lift it up. You can go ahead and hold on to it behind the knee or at the knee. Or maybe you feel like you're good just holding it up on your own without holding the leg up. Now lift up a little taller. You want to feel the front of your hip being open. You're not sitting back here, yes? And then you're going to keep the thigh bone down at the bottom of your hip socket as you open the leg out to the side. So that's going to keep your hips out. If you lifted the hip up, you're going to end up kind of tilting over. Right, so you want the thigh bone to be down. Both hips are down. Inhale. Exhale. And then come back to the center. You're going to switch legs. Set your right foot down, and then you're going to bend into the right leg. Put the left ankle on the right knee. And have your hand over here towards this side, because I really want you to feel the ability to pull your right hip back. So if your left arm is out, you can feel the right hip pulling back a little bit more. One more exhale. And standing up, setting your foot down, relax your arm. And of course, you can just have hands at your heart or arm reaching up if you're not reaching out to your side. So we're gonna stand on the right leg, lifting the left leg up now. You're gonna get right up on top of your hips. And lift the leg up. The front of this hip is open. And hold on, you can hold behind your leg. You're gonna keep the thigh bone down at the bottom of your hip socket as you open the leg up. And of course, you're still breathing here, staying right up on top of your leg. Lift the front of this hip, drop this thigh bone. And then take the leg back to the front. Drop the foot down. You're going to switch sides, taking your right ankle over your left knee, and then you're going to feel your left hip drawing back to the back of your hip socket. Good. One more breath in. Deep breath out. Let's see if you can lift your leg up to set it down. And go ahead and whittle out a little bit. Have you moved away from your mat space? You can come back to your mat space. You're going to bring the feet in and together so that the big toe edges touch. And hands at your heart. Lift your heart up to your thumbs. You're going to sit back into a chair pose. Your modification is going to be hand to your knee or hand to your hip. Or you can twist over towards the right side. Bring your left elbow down and try to squeeze your inner thighs together. Get your hips a little bit lower than your head if you can, if your heart, if you can. And then one more exhale. Soften your belly. Come back to the center, inhale, straighten your legs. Just a quick break as we start to bend back into the knees and go over towards the other side. So you can always take hand to your knee and hand to your hip instead of the elbow to the thighs. You really want to get the heart, the head and the heart above the hips. So you have to drop the hips more. Exhale. Back to the center, then straighten your legs. Lift your arms up, interlace your fingers, feel your inner thighs lifting up. Legs are still in close to touch, so your hips go slightly forward. You're gonna get up a little bit taller, side bend over towards the right side. Keep lifting the fronts of your hips as you do. One more exhale. And come back up through the center as you inhale, go up and over towards the left side. Feel the fronts of the hips lifting, push into that right foot. One more exhale. Inhale to the center. Relax the hands down at your heart. Just take a breath in and a breath out. So we're going to start to extend the legs out nice and wide. We'll go into warrior two on the right side. So turn your right toes all the way over, left toes in slightly. I will mirror you. We can go outwards with the arms. Check out that front thigh. Push down to that front foot. Feel your thigh bone going to the back of the hip socket a little bit, trying to keep that leg engaged. And then peaceful warrior, not changing your legs, just lifting your heart upwards towards your hand. Big inhale. And then coming forward, elbow down, side angle, still thigh bone going to the back of the hip socket. And if you were actively doing that the whole time, probably this leg didn't really move much. Maybe it did. It's a weird thing. I've been doing a lot of it. Maybe it's been just like a new thing, your legs mutinying, that's fine too. One more exhale. And come all the way up. You're gonna turn all 10 toes to face towards the long side of your mat. Go ahead and bring your hands down. Relax your head, maybe shift your hips around a little bit, just noticing the differences in between the sides, if there is any. And then with a little bend in the knees, draw your belly in, hands to hips, heart comes up. And we'll shift towards the other side. So moving into warrior two, opening the arms out, make sure that the right toe is turned into, and then you're gonna slide this left thigh bone into the back of the hip socket. It's a little bit more active, a little turnover in the hips. Stay there in the legs if you can. Inhale, lift the heart up. Hopefully that's all that changed. And then the arms, yeah. One more inhale. Exhale, side angle, keep that thigh bone drawn in to the bottom of the hip socket. So the hips stay right in and underneath you. Hopefully there's lots of room in the lower back, even on the left side. One more breath out. Then lifting up, turning all 10 toes to face forward, we'll forward fold again. You can have fingertips down, you can hold onto your legs, you can hold onto your hips, your shins. You can shift around a little bit, side to side perhaps, feeling a little bit more spacious on both sides, no longer being quite as asymmetric in the amount of stretching you've done. One more breath out. A little bend in your knees, hands to your hips. I'll take it all the way back up. I'll bring the legs in towards each other. You want them to be just about hip width apart. And feel the fronts of your hips lift up. Feel your thigh bones lifting up. Feel the inner thighs lifting up. And then lift your arms up. Try not to lose that lift of the fronts of your hips. A little bit taller. Feel your armpits pressing out into your hands, so strong in your upper back. One more breath in. And then exhale, fold it down. If you need to adjust in your space, adjust in your space. We're gonna come in a downward dog. So just go ahead and set yourself up here. We usually go in a little bit earlier in practice, but maybe you've got a little bit more room open in the hips now. Try to send your thigh bones to the back sides of your hip sockets and instead of letting them come forward to round your back, thigh bones lift up and back. Armpits press into the hands, relax your head. And then release your knees down. And we'll go into puppy dog pose. You could do child's pose or lay on your belly if you prefer. I'm just gonna rest like so, letting the back stretch out. Hinging at the hips if you can. Let the thigh bones rest back. One more exhale. And then start to walk your hands back in. I'm gonna come to a seat, swing the legs in front of us, and take the right leg in, left leg up. So right foot is in just as close as you would like it to be. We're gonna come out over the left leg. Soften your belly. There's a little bit of a twist here. One more breath out. Then start to walk your hands back in. You're gonna take your right knee, you're gonna turn it upwards. You can keep it here or you can cross over the leg. Get your left toes lifted, hold the right thigh, right arm in for support. Lift your belly, soften, or lift your heart, soften your belly into the twist. Just another breath here, inhale, exhale. Inhale, unwind. One exhale to twist over towards the left. And then inhale, come back to the front. You're gonna unwind the leg and bring it right back where it was, but we're gonna open up the shape a little bit. So in order to do that, I like to take my leg out more. So now my thigh bones are just a little bit further apart widthwise. Send your left arm down towards your left leg, reach your right arm up and over. And relax the inner shoulder. Big inhale. Big exhale. Then coming up, Now you're gonna close the shape off again, so you might pull that thigh bone back. So you're gonna be directed a little bit more towards your leg and your chihuahua, and then coming down into a fold again. And it's all about the softening forward, not about how far forward you get. Because sometimes there's a little fluffy thing that's in your way and you cannot go any further. Are you a roadblock? You're a roadblock. Thank you. Yes, hi. Deep breath in. Soften as you exhale. One more inhale. And exhale. Go ahead and walk yourself back up. So we're gonna do all of that on the other side. We'll start with our pre-forward fold. My knee is feeling weird. I'm gonna put a block on the outside of my knee. If your knee is ever feeling weird and you wanna prop up a bent knee, please do that. I'm gonna come forward here, taking a little fold over my leg. Where's the sweet spot? There it is. Okay, good. Trying to rest forward and the whole spine. One more breath in. Breathing out. And then come on up. You're going to take the knee up. You might cross it over. You might not. Get it nice and tall on your spine. Left arm in for support. Hold the left thigh. Lift the ears. Soften the belly as you twist. Breathing in. And breathing out. One more round of breath. Inhale. Exhale. Then come up through the center. One exhale. Twisting over to the right. And then unwind yourself. You're gonna open up the legs again. You're gonna shift that leg forward or do whatever you need to in order to bring your thighs more open. And then the right arm comes down and the left arm comes up and over into a side bend. Soften that belly back. You should really feel it all the way from the hip out through the outer arm. Inhale. Exhale. Then come on up. We're going to turn towards the leg and close it in again. For me, that works best to draw the thigh bone in. And then we're back into this forward fold. Seeing if you have any more space or if it just feels more spacious, even if you aren't going into a different space. And it just feels better where you are. Big breath in. Big breath out. And start to lift yourself back up. Unwind the legs. Like both of them out in front. If you wanted to sit up on anything, support the hips, you could. We're going to come into a forward fold just to relax the back in a more neutral position, just resting forward just as far and as soft as you can be. So both of those things, far and soft. So finding a balance between the two. One more exhale. And walking it back. We're going to shift to come down onto the forearms. So bring your hips forward. You're going to bring your elbows down and then lift your heart up. Little fish pose. Broaden those collarbones. Inhale. Exhale. Stay. One more inhale. And then relax your heart down. Widen those elbows. Come all the way down onto your back. Hug into your right thigh. It might be the back of your right thigh. It might be your right shin. You're going to slide your left leg out as long as possible. Let the right leg be soft. Let the left leg be the active one. So you're pushing the sole of the left foot forward. One more inhale. Big exhale. Relax your left leg. You're going to take the right leg, cross it over, come into a twist. I like to rest the foot on my extended leg, and then maybe the right arm goes out to the side. Let the belly soften. One more breath out. And come back to the center. Set that right foot down. You're going to draw the left leg in, hold on to it, shin or behind the knee, whichever feels best. And then you'll start sliding the right leg out. Let it be active. So the right foot presses forward, the left leg relaxes as much as possible, which takes a little bit of concentrated effort, I think, because it's patting your head and rubbing your belly a bit to have those two different energies going on. One more breath. Relax the right leg. You're going to take the left leg and cross it over. The foot can go on the bottom thigh if that's supportive to you. Open the left arm, soften the belly. Deep breath in. Soften as you breathe out. And then come back to the center. Set the soles of the feet down, bringing your arms in by your sides. Wiggle your shoulders under your back. Push down, and your feet will come up into a bridge pose. Pushing down into all four corners, maybe wiggling your shoulders in again and holding hands below your back. Push down to the big toe mounts of your feet just a little bit more. Feel the inner thighs drawing upwards towards your pelvis. One more breath in. And releasing your shoulders and your spine, letting everything relax downwards towards the floor. Knees into your chest, give yourself a hug. If you feel a lot of release in your lower back and you'd like to take this into happy baby, then widening your feet, reaching up to grab onto the soles or the ankles or just kind of onto the backs of the knees as you pull them out wide. Stillness if you like it, taking a little bit of movement if you like that. One more breath out. Releasing your feet, take them down. Open your arms out, wiggle your legs a little bit wider. Flex your feet, take your knees over towards the right side. Take a deep breath in. Soften your belly, breathe out. Keep the feet flexed. One more breath in. Try to soften your shoulders as you breathe out. Come back to the center. And as you exhale, knees go over towards the left. Keep those feet flexed. Inhale. Exhale, softening your belly. Inhale. Exhale, softening the shoulders. Back to the center, lift the knees up, let them knock against each other. Bring a hand to your heart and a hand to your belly to check in. Just a little observation of where you're at the end of practice. If you would like to take any additional movements or stretches, go ahead to go there. If you'd like to rest here, go to a chair, or start to slide out into Shavasana whenever you are set up to do so. You can always give a little snuggle of the shoulders under the back to open the heart a bit more. Rest very well. Start to come back to your body. Deepening your breath. As you tune yourself back in, feeling maybe some movements come up, considering that proverb again that we explored in setting intention. Watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they become your character, and watch your character, it becomes your destiny. Live like a destiny that is not dependent upon the turbulence of the changing of the weather and the sunshine. So start to roll over to your favorite side, turning inwards for a moment of gratitude for this practice and this opportunity to gather here together. Even as things change. And then go ahead and bring yourself up to your own version of a comfy seat. Hands together at your heart. We'll seal our practice, releasing an Om together. A big breath in. Bowing down to the love and light that resides within each of our hearts. Namaste.
Namaste, namaste.
Thanks.
Have a good one.
You too.
There's sunshine coming this afternoon.
I know, I just saw it. It was great.
It's amazing, huh? Have a good week. I'll see you next week.
Yes, next week we will have class. We will not have class on Memorial Day. I am going to take off that day. And
Oh, good. Okay. Have a good one.
yeah.
Anyway, I'll see you next week.
Good to see you, Melinda. Bye, Judy. Have a good week, everybody. I will see you next time.
Bye.